The moment you read "an anonymous source told the Sun," you've already encountered the first red flag in a narrative designed to mislead. These faceless informants have become the media's favorite shield, allowing outlets to print speculation and conjecture without accountability or verification, and the pattern is especially evident when covering high-profile figures like Harry and Meghan. Consider the glaring contradictions. These supposedly well-connected sources claim intimate knowledge of the couple's private affairs, yet they mysteriously knew nothing about Meghan's Paris trip, the bizarre cover shoot, the Asiva chocolate launch, or Harry's polo excursion to Aspen, all events that occurred without a whisper of advance warning from their insiders. This selective knowledge reveals the game for what it is: a manufactured narrative wrapped in the veneer of credible reporting. The pattern never changes, merely adapting its costume with each new story. Yesterday it was Christmas snubs at Sandringham and summer exclusions from Balmoral. Today it's reframed as Invictus controversies, with headlines already written to suggest Harry made demands he never actually made. Those close to the truth know better. Harry and Meghan don't peddle their stories through anonymous intermediaries. When they have something to say, it comes directly from them, not filtered through the machinations of unnamed sources. We're living in an era where the UK media operates as a machine of misinformation, using anonymous sources as a tool to manufacture public pressure and narrative control. And unless a statement comes directly from the person being discussed, it deserves nothing more than a healthy pinch of salt. The problem with anonymous sources: the moment you see "an anonymous source told," you should stop reading, or at least approach with extreme skepticism. This reliance on unnamed sources has become a convenient shield for media outlets pushing narratives that lack any real accountability or verifiability. When journalists hide behind anonymous contacts, there's no way to confirm who these people actually are, what their motives might be, or whether they even have genuine knowledge of the situation they're commenting on. This creates the perfect environment for unsubstantiated claims to circulate as fact, allowing speculation to masquerade as reporting. Consider the irony. The same outlets claiming to have insider sources close to certain figures somehow manage to miss major announcements and events until they're already public. Yet they want readers to believe these mysterious contacts are feeding them exclusive information. Without direct confirmation from the actual person being discussed, these anonymous claims remain nothing more than hearsay dressed up in journalistic language. The space between what's reported and what's actually verified grows wider each day, and anonymous sources are the perfect tool for widening that gap even further. Media's selective intelligence. What the sources actually know, the irony is striking. Outlets claiming intimate knowledge of Harry and Meghan's movements while simultaneously demonstrating glaring blind spots in their supposed insider information. They missed Meghan's Paris trip entirely, failed to report the bizarre cover announcement in advance, were caught unaware about the Asiva chocolates launch, and didn't know Harry was heading to Aspen for polo. Yet these same publications want readers to believe they're tapped into the inner circle, that people close to the couple are feeding them detailed narratives. The pattern exposes itself. They know enough to construct a story, but not enough to actually be in the room when decisions are made. It's the classic move of media outlets hiding behind the shield of anonymous sources, weaponizing vagueness to push a predetermined narrative while avoiding accountability for what they conveniently get wrong or conveniently fail to mention until after the fact. The myth of insider access. When close sources reveal nothing, the contradiction is impossible to ignore. Outlets claiming intimate access to Harry and Meghan's inner circle consistently fail to break actual news, yet simultaneously present themselves as trusted conduits of information. If these sources were truly as close as claimed, one might reasonably expect them to know about significant developments before they're announced. Yet they didn't know about Meghan's Paris trip. They missed the bizarre cover reveal. They were caught off guard by the Asiva chocolates launch, and they had no advance warning of Harry's polo venture to Aspen. This pattern of selective information raises serious questions about source reliability and proximity. Either these sources aren't nearly as close as the headlines suggest, or they're being fed a carefully curated narrative designed to serve a particular agenda. The reality is stark. Genuine insiders close to Harry and Meghan don't operate through anonymous leaks to tabloids. When they have something to say, it comes directly from them, on their terms. The media's persistent reliance on unnamed sources to construct narratives about the couple, especially inflammatory ones about demands, snubs and controversies, suggests less insider knowledge and more manufactured storytelling. Each close source quote should be viewed with appropriate skepticism, a reminder that in an era saturated with misinformation, the only truly reliable information comes from the actual person the story concerns. Media fabrication and the Invictus narrative. The pattern is as transparent as it is repetitive. Stories shift their focus from personal family events to institutional conflicts, transforming what should be straightforward announcements into manufactured drama that never existed in the first place. The headlines have evolved predictably over time, from the tired Christmas snubs at Sandringham narratives to the summer at Balmoral complaints, and now conveniently landing on Invictus demands and King snubs Harry, each one following the same worn blueprint of invented controversy. The media creates this drama entirely on its own, hiding behind the convenient shield of anonymous sources, while simultaneously expecting the public to believe that people genuinely close to Harry and Meghan are feeding them information, despite the glaring contradiction that these same sources mysteriously knew nothing about Paris trips, magazine covers, chocolate launches, or polo expeditions until after the fact. The reality is far simpler. There is no demand, no snub, no conflict, only headlines designed to apply pressure and manufacture outrage where none organically exists, all while the public is asked to treat unverified claims from unnamed insiders as gospel truth. Media narratives versus direct communication, understanding Harry and Meghan's authentic voice. When it comes to how Harry and Meghan actually communicate with the public, there's a stark and deliberate contrast to what tabloids regularly claim. The couple addresses issues directly when they choose to speak, delivering their message through verified official channels rather than hiding behind the convenient shield of unnamed sources. Unlike the endless parade of anonymous insiders and sources close to the couple that flood tabloid headlines, Harry and Meghan's actual communications, whether through their Archewell Foundation, official statements, or verified social media accounts, come with their names attached and their authenticity intact. This transparency stands in sharp relief to the pattern we've witnessed repeatedly. The media claiming ignorance about Meghan's Paris trip, the bizarre cover, the Asiva chocolates launch, or Harry's polo commitments, yet simultaneously insisting they have intimate knowledge of the couple's private thoughts and intentions. The reality is simple and consistent. If Harry and Meghan have something to say, you'll hear it directly from them, not whispered through anonymous sources designed to manipulate narratives and apply pressure. The strategy of attributing claims to unnamed people close to the couple serves one primary purpose: to create plausible deniability while pushing a predetermined narrative. When you encounter yet another story beginning with an anonymous source told, remember that genuine insight into the couple's perspective doesn't operate that way. It comes authenticated, attributed, and undeniably from the source itself. Media manipulation through manufactured narratives. The anonymous sources that populate tabloid headlines have become the primary mechanism through which media outlets construct pressure campaigns against public figures, particularly those they seek to influence into predetermined outcomes. These unnamed informants serve as convenient vessels for unverified claims and manufactured public opinion, allowing journalists to present speculation as fact, while maintaining plausible deniability about their sources' credibility or even existence. The pattern is unmistakable. Stories emerge with convenient timing, always pushing a specific narrative, in this case that King Charles III deserves a prominent role at Invictus. Yet these same sources close to the palace mysteriously failed to know about Paris trips, magazine covers, chocolate launches, or polo excursions that actually occurred. The repetition of these pressure narratives, layered across multiple publications and reinforced through social media algorithms, creates the illusion of genuine public demand, when in reality the machinery of manufactured opinion is grinding away behind the scenes. This coordinated effort to shape perception through unnamed sources rather than direct statements from the people involved represents not journalism but psychological manipulation, a calculated attempt to force decisions through relentless unverifiable claims rather than honest dialogue. The erosion of trust. How anonymous sources enable systematic misinformation. The United Kingdom finds itself ensnared in an era of deliberately constructed false narratives where faceless sources operate with impunity to reshape public perception without consequence. Media outlets have become increasingly reliant on the shield of anonymity, allowing them to publish unverified claims and inflammatory headlines whilst dodging accountability for inaccuracies that never materialize. This systematic approach to controlling the narrative has become disturbingly predictable. Outlets claim insider knowledge they demonstrably lack. They're blindsided by actual news like Paris trips, magazine covers, and business ventures, yet simultaneously insist their anonymous contacts feed them exclusive details about public figures. The pattern is transparent. Headlines are constructed not to report truth, but to apply pressure and shape public opinion in favor of predetermined narratives, whether that's manufacturing demands that were never made or engineering supposed snubs that exist only in editorial imagination. When genuine statements emerge, they come directly from the individuals involved, not through the convenient veil of unnamed sources. The responsibility for this erosion of media integrity lies squarely with outlets that weaponize anonymity, using it as both shield and sword to push agendas whilst remaining beyond the reach of scrutiny or correction. Recognizing trustworthiness in media reports. When a publication leads with an anonymous source says, that's precisely where critical readers should pause and question what follows. Anonymous claims, no matter how sensational or detailed they appear, lack the foundation of accountability that credible reporting demands. Without independent corroboration, they remain merely speculation, dressed up as news. In stark contrast, direct statements from the actual subjects themselves carry substantial weight. When Harry and Meghan choose to speak, they do so publicly and on the record, lending their words genuine authority that unnamed insiders simply cannot match. The pattern becomes clear when examining what these supposed sources close to the couple somehow miss. Major announcements about Paris trips, magazine covers, business venues, and travel plans that somehow evade their alleged insider knowledge, yet they claim intimate familiarity with private conversations and intentions. Before accepting any narrative about public figures, readers must demand verification. Does this quote come directly from the person in question, or is it filtered through anonymous intermediaries with unclear motives? The difference between responsible journalism and manufactured pressure campaigns hinges precisely on this distinction, and in an era saturated with misinformation, that skepticism isn't cynicism, it's essential literacy.